the dot. Look at that. Judd popping in. Pop. We're live. So right off the bat, we have Kyriazis. Maybe I still got it wrong, MD. Kyriazis. He's in there. He read my mind virtually. I was saying I could not find where he'd give me the phonetic of his name. Matt is
not first.
Yeah, Matt is easier to pronounce. He's first, but he also gave me his phonetic. I like Matt. Kyriazis. Kyriazis. I'll get it down.
Okay.
So we got 5 eyeballs, but we're gonna roll. We're gonna roll fast. First of all, what's your shirt here? Join or die. Look at this. The color.
Philadelphia. Been to the Constitution Center twice and Independence Hall twice. So been to Rocky Balboa's statue twice.
Really? You stood up and you gave the thing. Did you get a picture?
Oh yeah. You know, there. Anytime you go there, I'd asked a guy I knew was a distributor out there about, hey, if you go by there, I heard it's a real popular thing. He said, yeah, you go by there anytime somebody's running up them. I said, good, I won't feel like an idiot when I do it.
Right. No. And even if you did, who cares?
I know. Nobody knows me. But hey, the kids are always worried that, hey, somebody from Wichita, Kansas is going to be out there judging, you know, that age.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, that is the youthful thing. So I even kind of went with an 80s shirt, little Empire Strikes Back, baby.
Sweet. Yeah, I grabbed one of my Stripers shirts, but yeah, those are a little, they shrunk through the years, put it that way.
That's right. You got the original rebellion going on there.
There you go. I'll tell you what's cool though is this is how they don't build things the way they used to. I gave my oldest daughter my Iron Maiden Killer shirt I bought in 1981, and she has worn the heck out of that thing. My youngest does wear one of my Striper shirts. She didn't want the one with the band pictures because, you know, a bunch of guys in spandex and makeup and long hair, that look. No, but she did have one, like a couple of cross swords from Soldiers Under Command. So it might, you know, and I think they got my Journey and Motorhead shirts too. So, hey, passing them down.
Now, David does say, Judd, did you drink a dozen raw eggs before you ran up the stairs?
Yeah, I knew.
All right, let me do a little roll call, and then we're going to set the stage again after the roll call with both some of our top 80s movies and some of our top 80s TV shows.
Oh, wow. I just grabbed some movies that were representative of the 80s.
Judd, you can do whatever you want. So Let's see. We've got David K is in here. He loves when these guys go old school. Boom. He also threw
it's not hard because I'm old.
That's right. Aces of Aces. Yeah, we lived it, baby. We lived it.
Yep. Hey, I have Ace of Aces. People have been talking about that game. I think I threw it on our top 5 air games, maybe.
I think you did. Is that the one with the book that turns?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rob and I used to play it over the telephone, so it was like before the days of Vassal. We were online.
I remember you explaining that one.
On a cordless phone, those old ones look like walkie-talkies.
Right. Anybody that's seen Napoleon? Oh, that one. The cordless that came up.
Yeah, you know, come off the base and I'd say phones today, but I don't think anybody uses landlines.
No, that was high tech. We got Vorpal Bite is in. John Connor, he's here
there he is. I thought he's always first. I thought maybe he was stalking you or something. Had like a bug set up in your house and knew when he's going live because dude's always first.
Hey, I post in when I'm going live, and John comes in whenever he can. Tom Knight is here.
Yep, I talked to him before the show.
Okay, we got Kyriazis is here. Let's see. You talked to him before the show. That's good.
Yeah, we're playing Vassal right now.
Wow. All right. Let's see. Who else? Tom Knight, and then Ronald Nicholson is in. Yep. John Connor says tee-hee. All right. So right off the bat, I'm going to name some 80s movies. Probably still one of my favorites that has held up. Well, there's several, but Red Dawn.
Oh, yeah. Oh, dude, I saw a killer meme. It's, you know, the stuff about the COVID class. And, you know, it had a picture.
I reposted that. I said Wolverines.
It had a picture of the cast, and it said, never forget, these kids lost their graduation, too. The class of 1984.
Yeah, it was a perfect meme. It's the one where they're all sitting there, and, they all got their stuff going on. Talking about a cast. The Karate Kid, you can't go wrong with the
and I forgot it is sitting over there.
Yeah, there you go. Of course, Raiders Lost Ark.
Yep.
Made me like Harrison Ford double. Solo is both. Han is my favorite Star Wars character, and then you got Raiders. Can't go wrong with E.T. when he hid in the pile of the stuffed animals. Look at you, see? Ghostbusters, iconic. It can't be remade. It was so good. It's awesome. And they're getting ready to put this out anytime now. It's been delayed. The original Top Gun.
Yeah.
And I'm forgetting the director, but the shots that he took actually on the aircraft carrier, gorgeous to this day. The volleyball scene doesn't hold up. It's a little wonky today when I watch the volleyball scene, but that's all right. They're oiled up and they're having fun. Looks like they're enjoying the volleyball. That's what goes on when you're at the Top Gun school. It's hyper competitive all the time.
Hey, tell you something pretty cool if you ever get bored, because hey, what are we all doing? Go check out on YouTube Jocko, and I think his last name's Willink, Willinck or something.
Yeah, he's a SEAL commander.
Yeah, he has a podcast, and he has a guy, and I'm blanking his name, but you can probably find it just by typing Top Gun. And he has a friend who works in his group, and the dude was a Top Gun instructor. And it's like a 3-hour thing. He talks about his whole Marine career, but it's funny because Jocko asked him if you took the best squadron pilot you ever saw in all your years, how would they do? And he said, if you took the very best, conditions are right, rounded off on a percentage wise, I'd say it was 0. He said, you have no idea how good those guys are. All they do is train all the time.
And we're still talking volleyball skills, right?
Yeah, no. But anyways, it's quite an entertaining. You'll learn a whole lot about what goes about the Top Gun thing. It's pretty cool.
Very nice. All right, give your list, and then we're going to even add in some of what the fans were watching. Then we're going to do TV, and then we'll get into the fans' war game list. What do you got?
What I forgot to grab was Clint Eastwood's magnum opus, although I did just say last week Unforgiven is my favorite movie, and that's Heartbreak Ridge.
Yeah, that is good.
I got The Terminator.
That is excellent. I was young and I didn't watch it till I was older, so I didn't throw it in.
Breakfast Club.
Mm-hmm. Made me want to get suspended.
Empire Strikes Back.
I could have put that on.
Sorry. Return of the Jedi. Empire came out, I think, 79.
No, Empire was 80 straight
80?
up, baby.
Okay. Couldn't remember. I remember watching it. Okay. Rocky 3 that introduced us to one of the world's finest thespians, Mr. T.
Well done. He made a full career.
And my favorite Spielberg movie, not E.T., Empire of the Sun.
Wow, very nice.
That'd be a good name for a game. Somebody ought to do that.
Man, wow. It's like you could see the future when you were back then.
When Harry Met Sally, 89.
Oh, okay, that was good.
Can't believe you forgot this one. Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. Actually, the whole trilogy.
Yeah, the Next Generation, you may see that in my TV side, but
okay.
The Wrath of Khan was good, and the meme of Khan, yeah.
Dude, I'll tell you what's crazy is Star Trek. There's a pretty cool story. I'm not going to go into that. You can read Shatner's memoir book about it, but ever since that thing's come out, all they do is keep trying to copy it. I mean, the Borg one with Picard, they're trying to copy the whole same Ahab theme. It just goes, the one with Christopher Pine and the Romulans, the whole revenge. I mean, it's like, dude, seriously, let it go. It was a great idea. Quit trying to remake it 100 times. But this was a cool thing. I joked about that they should make like a series of Star Trek movies and just put like a collection. Remember how they had all the box collections?
Mm-hmm.
I never got it because I didn't want 1 and 5. They sucked. And I said they should make a set that says the Star Trek movies that didn't suck. Well, this is actually 2, 3, and 4. They didn't have 6. And I said they should do the same with the Rocky movies. Do like 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah. Star Trek 4.
A lesser known movie, but very good. Uncommon Valor. Vietnam. Actually, it's not Vietnam. It's post-Vietnam. Gene Hackman hires a team to go in and get some POWs. Done before the whole Rambo. Oh, I should have grabbed Rambo. First, yeah. So many great ones left out.
Good. I wouldn't think of that. We're getting a little bit of reverb if you could bring your volume down just a touch.
Okay.
There's some lag. All right, let's go with some of the other game or movie ones here. So Tom Knight, the best Star Wars movie, I'm going to say ever, Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. Ooh, Sergeant Rock Easy Company, the shirt off the internet. Now, sorry, that's a comic book deal. I love Sergeant Rock. Matt Curiosities says The Big Chill. That was good.
Hey, you know who the corpse was? You never
No.
saw him, but you know who played the part?
Who?
Kevin Costner.
Oh, really?
Back when he was young. I'm full of weird trivia.
That is good. All right, let's see. Jason, I'm just going to give a shout out. He got his version of the Compass Games, France 1944 Thursday. Yeah, David also yells Wolverine.
There we go.
Yep. David K yells Wolverines. That's all we need. Where I'm with you, brother. We can defend. Let's see. Platoon from Vorpal. Yes.
I never saw that movie.
Oh, it was very good.
Oh, I know.
William Dafoe. The bad sergeant. I'm blanking on his name.
Oh. I was going to talk about Flight of the Intruders. I'm not sure if that was 1990 or not. I was in college when I saw it.
There. That was good too. The whole Phantom bomber that was dropping a deuce around on the ship.
Yeah.
That was based on true. Let's see. Michael Mellon says Blade Runner. Yes, that was another one I didn't see till I was older. David K. Road Warrior. I agree. Awesome. Hold on. My screen just jumped with
I got to see more of that Blade Runner because I saw it when it came out in the theater. My sister was all about how great it was going to be. And if you remember when it came out, woohoo, people were like, ugh. But then I heard they changed the ending and they made a director's cut and all this stuff. And sometimes, it's a cult classic that grew with time. But wow, if you ask me what it was, like I saw it once and I was okay to leave it back in 82.
I like the director's cut. I thought it was good.
Yeah, I like to see what he did.
Philip K. Dick, yeah, the whole idea. But yeah, there's some interesting things on it. Let's see. Michael Mellon, Das Boot.
Is that 80s? Wow.
I don't know. I'm going to say yes. It sure feels like it when I think back to it. I didn't see that till later either. David Howard the Duck. Kidding. He's joking.
Hey, he was in I believe he's in Endgame. He has a cameo somewhere.
Yes, he does, right at the end. Michael Mellon says he loves Leah Thompson. Boy, her and what's her name that ends up in Dirty Dancing. That was really some of their first.
Jennifer Grey.
Yeah, Jennifer Grey. They did.
Oh, hey, another movie she was in. Well, I just watched it with the kids. Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Oh
yeah, she plays the nasty sister.
Yep, and Charlie Sheen has that cameo in it.
Yeah, she's more than a cameo. She's all over that one.
No, Charlie Sheen. I said he had a cameo. He was.
Oh yeah. He's playing the bad boy that she meets.
I don't think he had to do too much acting for that one.
All right, let's see where are we at. Interesting war movie, Hope and Glory from Michael. Ronald Nicholson. Speaking of Top Gun, United States Air Force Thunderbirds flying over today in the Springs, Colorado Springs. Well, that's cool.
Wait a minute. They're supposed to be a 6-foot distancing, so those guys are a lot closer than 6 feet.
Oh yeah, they're definitely breaking the social distancing.
That's right.
They're probably at 3 feet in some kind of inverted dive.
That's what I heard when they fly their diamonds. They're 36 inches apart.
I believe it. I was kind of doing a Top Gun reference when they were using sign language. Let's see. David says he doesn't want to see the old Tom Cruise and Val Kilmer squeezed into a Jets. I want to see it. I love that movie. Gosh, the soundtrack.
I showed it to my youngest daughter about a couple of months ago, and she loved it. She didn't care for the volleyball scene. Plus, she said none of those guys were good looking. But
she's just lying. Come on, I'm a man, and you got to be like, well, they're good looking men.
Nope, she said Val Kilmer got no game. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to show it to my oldest one here pretty soon. So.
All right, Vorpal says Wrath of Khan needs its own dedicated war game.
Actually, no, they don't have it. Yeah, they got that Star Trek 3 game. There's like 3 games in one. They have a Kobayashi Maru.
Well, yeah, that's even from the book. All kinds of stuff with Kobayashi Maru. Love it. Let's see. Vorpal, new Star Trek sucks. It's one long Chinese-style battle. Yeah, it's all hyped up. I knew something was wrong with my co-host on the Whiskey Show who trashes Star Trek all the time. And I'd tell him, well, it's just too smart for you. All of a sudden, the new ones were coming out. And he's like, hey, I like these Star Treks. I'm like, oh, God.
Oh, Bart, hey, in the Deep Space Nine Chronicles going on.
Yes.
I go to my DVRs to start binging them, and somehow most of them are gone. So I get on CBS All Access or somehow through Amazon. So I've got a zillion movies. So right now I am twin binging Voyager and Deep Space Nine. And I got a question, and my wife will back me on this. We're 10 episodes in.
Which one?
The Deep Space Nine. Please tell me that thing's going to get better. That thing sucks. I mean, I know B5 starts slow, but one of them, I fell asleep 5 minutes into it. I was like, oh, yeah, I know where this one's going to go. This is going to happen. I took a nap, woke up at the end, like, yep, just like I thought.
Oh, I like DS9. I think Jadzia Dax, first of all, she's beautiful, but the way she plays the Klingon and the whole symbiote thing, that alone is just phenomenal.
Please tell me we're going to get the Dominion here pretty soon or something.
Yeah, Dominion comes in. I like Odo and the shape shifting and his whole history. You're going to get to that, but Jadzia's definitely probably my favorite part. It's very interesting to see how the Ferengi get fleshed out more than just their ears. Ooh, it's a little ear joke there that doesn't come out. The only thing that still cringes me a little bit is they kind of do the whole, it's Cisco as the captain and the dad, and then his son as the writer, and there's some, and then I lost it near the end when they actually got into the big no, the big war. You know, there's a war coming.
Oh yeah, I know about the Dominion War. Okay.
Yeah. So because what you're dealing with now is basically the planet and all the folks that were messed with by
I wish we were getting some backstory. We're getting these dumb last night was the one where like they had the first contact from the Gamma Quadrant and the command staff get stuck in a game, and I'm like, really, man, this is like bad first season of Next Generation bad.
Well, that's how they all kind of start, though. They got a budget, they got to find their legs, they got to flesh out the depth of the story. You know, that's like the Star Trek thing.
You know, the crazy part is the original series, it came out smoking. If you would look at it, wow, they put up some classics like right in the first 10. But you know, they only got 3 seasons, and the third one's the hit or miss.
Right.
But yeah, the now Voyager, I'm like 3 or 4 episodes in. I like it, but the first episode did not show Janeway smarts. If Jim Kirk would have been in charge of that ship, they would not be 70 zillion miles across the galaxy. It was too easy to get home. It's like, lady, you screwed up bad. Of course, I know it's all about the plot, because the plot needs it to happen.
Now, John Connor says, what? No love for Predator? You're right. Predator stands up to this day.
I never saw it.
Oh, my gosh. You need to get that. It holds up well to this day. It's very well written. It has more of a it almost feels like it's combined with a slasher film, because they do a good job of not showing the Predator hardly at all. It's really well done.
Oh, the one that's killing me is I'm sitting here struggling going through these Star Treks, and I saw that I had The Expanse, which many people has told me is excellent. And I was like, ooh, and I'm watching this crap and missing this. The one I really want to see is Sense8, but it's on Netflix, and I don't have it. That was done by Straczynski from Babylon 5 and the Wachowskis.
The Expanse is very good. I've read the books, and the movies do a good job. What the movies do is kind of make it real. And you know, the one thing humans are good at is warring with each other.
There you go. So, yeah, then my wife and I have been binging the Burn Notice too. But yeah, just all kinds of good shows. And I'm sitting there, and we're just kind of like, boy, this DS9 kind of sucks. So I keep saying, I keep hearing it's good.
Well, you'll get to it, but let's see. There was some comments. Why don't you roll us into your TV likes? Trevor Just is in. It rolled on me again. Raiders of the Lost Ark. We'll keep her flowing. We'll keep her. Aliens. Yes. Oh my God, I love Aliens. 80s was good. You got to admit, 80s was really good. Not just board games.
Speaking of that, killer.
Oh, music. We did that as the teaser going into the actual 80s show. Give us a little bit of your favorite TV stuff, and then we'll get into the fans list.
You know, it's crazy. I did not watch a lot of TV in the 80s when I thought about it. Early 80s, I watched the Dukes of Hazzard because I was a male adolescent of young age, of course. So, yeah, I watched that. And let's see. It's funny, when I missed a lot of the Cosby Show. I know it was huge.
It was. How about Different Strokes? Come on.
I didn't, you know, and the one with Michael J. Fox, it was good, but I didn't go out of my way to watch
Family
it.
Ties. Come on. What you talking about, Willis? Come on.
MASH. You know, I've seen about every MASH a zillion times. And then 2 shows I never watched. I mean, I didn't go out of my way to watch, but I never turned them down because they're always good. Was Magnum, because that's Belisarius. Everything he does is gold. And Highway to Heaven, the old Michael Landon with the dude at the A's hat, Vic Watson. That was always a good show. But
we could not get CBS very good up in the mountains, so I was CBS deficient.
Now, the thing I watched the most was football. I mean, 80s Chicago Bears. Woohoo!
Yeah, the fridge. All right, so I had the A-Team. Come on, we're right back into.
I never watched it.
Oh my God!
I know the gist of it. I know if you've seen one, you've seen them all. But
yeah, pretty much. Come on, they're the team. They're gonna.
That was the Dukes of Hazzard too, though.
Yeah, Different Strokes. Knight Rider. Come on, Kit. Oh,
never watched it.
Oh my God, dude! Oh my God, it was great.
Yeah, my wife down here, she watched all kinds of stuff in the 80s. But yeah,
Star Trek: The Next Generation. I was so thrilled when that came out. That was
I did not get into that until 92.
Oh, you missed out.
Then I binged it like crazy. But yeah, I was so pro Captain Kirk, I could not get off. I cannot get in that wussy that wouldn't fight.
Oh, come
stayed on a ship.
Hey, Judd, all I'm going to say is make it so. That's all I'm saying. All right, The Simpsons. Hello, I was scared when that came out. Oh, what? Oh my God! Man.
I'm telling you, I didn't know.
What are you doing? First of all, I started having high school kids were making fun of me because the name's Bart. And they're like, yeah. And then Bart Simpson ended up cool. And I was like, oh, never mind. This little yellow guy is great. The Fall Guy. Come on, man.
I did watch that.
Oh,
yeah. Hazard. That was my big Friday night. I watched like the Dukes and the Fall Guy. Then they had that show I was telling you about, Robert Stack and the Strike Force, you know, the special police force group. And yeah, I watched that, but that was for like a year.
Now we're going to give you. Surely you tuned in to T.J. Hooker. Come on, man.
Never watched it.
Shatner. He can fly a starship and throw a PR-24 and catch criminals.
Yeah, but I never saw an episode 1.
Oh my God! And then
Sheltered Life that way. I just wasn't into TV.
One of the best, The Greatest American Hero.
Never saw it.
Oh.
Never saw a single episode.
Oh, he's like a high school teacher, and he finds the suit. And the suit has the power, but he doesn't have the rules for it. So he's a superhero, but he's got to learn how to fly and all this stuff. And he's always messing it up. God, it was awesome.
Wasn't the show with the helicopter, the real Airwolf?
Oh, yeah. Airwolf was CBS again. I was deficient.
Okay. Yeah, it's funny when I thought long and hard. A good movie I forgot to mention was Better Off Dead. But yeah, I just never watched much. It's funny.
Mark Garlock, Hill Street Blues. God, I love the Hill Street. And the squad room in Hill Street, although not as junky, that is still one of the highlights of police work is your first shifts or your squad meeting before you all go 10-8. Oh, yeah. Saturday Night Live, Michael Mellon says with Lovitz, Carvey, Jan Hooks, all the people running then. Woo. Dallas has been mentioned, Transformers, G.I. Joe, all the 80s cartoons. They were pretty good.
You know, there's another one. I never watched an episode of MacGyver. Now, one I'd be curious to see is I think it was Scarecrow and Mrs. King, only because Bruce Boxer's like in it. And he's the captain in Babylon 5. I'd like to see some of his other work. But
yeah, that was pretty good.
But yeah, I mean, I know all these shows because when I'd watch the Bears, you know, Pat Summerall would come on and tell you what was coming up. But I never watched any of them.
Now, John says, I still don't watch TV. It's garbage. Well, it's garbage now, but it was pretty good back then. I'm just telling you, John, if you didn't watch in the 80s, Miami Vice, yes, yeah. Says Bill. Miami Vice, when they play In the Heat of the Night by
Glenn Fry.
Yeah.
Glenn Fry.
Yep, and they had a lot of Phil Collins songs.
Wait, was it, or is he did You Belong to the City? Yeah, I don't know if he did.
I think it's Phil Collins.
Okay,
but I could be wrong because I don't know. But it was the first time I'd seen a show. They're basically driving to like a known shootout, and they literally let them drive through Miami for like 7 minutes with no dialogue. And when they put that out, they were like the network was freaking out, and it was awesome. I was like, wow, way to spend airtime. WKRP. I thought
I saw some of those. That was a good show, especially when Venus Flytrap teaches that kid chemistry. I love that moment.
The first, the original Star Trek.
Oh, so that's right. As God is my witness, I swear I thought turkeys could fly.
Taxi. I thought Taxi came out in the early 70s. All right.
It switched networks.
Okay.
That was a weird show.
All right.
But, yeah, hey, Les Nessman, remember when he put the tape down and made the walls? He was doing social distancing before it was cool.
Well, he wanted an office.
Hey, and Les Nessman taught us that the oldest profession in mankind was agriculture.
Oh, there you go.
Remember when he was dating that lady and she was a prostitute, and Andy tries to tell him, and he said, Les, I don't know how to tell you this. She's in the oldest profession, and he goes, agriculture.
Hunter gatherer. All right, let me see. We're going into the video comments now.
Hey, Bart, one more. Was Good Times 80s or 70s?
70s for sure.
Sorry, because I said if they ever do a Jeopardy show based on MASH and Good Times, I will be Ken Jennings.
Wow. All right, so like has become tradition, I've pinned Greg Schmidtken's list is pinned to the top, and he's going to get the first shout out here. So his list, number 5 is Gunslinger. And Judd, kind of keep an eye on the comments. If you see something, you can jump on it. I can't see him from where I'm at. So very fond memories of the barroom brawl and the poker game scenarios. Number 4, War and Peace. Greg says, I never got in the campaign game, but did play the scenarios. The Peninsula War was epic. The first game that caused me to write a fan letter to Avalon Hill. Well, that's cool. Number 3 for Greg was Raid on Saint Nazaire. I'm not sure I'm saying that right. I'm not a real solitaire player. I have that game and love it. I've enjoyed this game for a long time, but it eventually turned into me being aware of and playing against the statistical tendencies solitaire games since have seemed to me to be statistical puzzles. That's because Greg's super smart. I can be fooled by statistical. Number 2 is Enemy in Sight. Got a lot of play in our group. It's pretty simple. The smaller the ship, the fewer the attack cards it can use.
You know, I had that, and he taught it to me. It just didn't do. It's funny, it didn't do much for me. I ended up trading it, but I could see where if you had a big group, it'd be like a fun beer and pretzels game. But I thought it was going to be a different type of game, so I was looking for a little more, historically ships of the line type of stuff.
Got it. And his number 1 is up front. See if you can bring your volume down here. We're getting a little reverb again.
Okay.
I don't know why. Sometimes it's just a lag thing. All right, let's see. We're going to roll through. There were some great lists that were actually put on here, and under your War Games post when the video went up. And we'll go to the BGG, but to where it's actually posted. Here's one from Brian Jarvis. Let me open that all the way up. So number 5 up front, 4 Storm over Arnhem, 3 National Pro Hockey. That's very cool. 2 Gladiator. I love Gladiator. That would have been on my short list. And 1 Fortress Europa.
That's a good one.
It is. And by the way,
the others aren't. I know that game. Yeah.
You can post your list any way you want, but if you post like Brian Jarvis, you are probably higher likelihood to get a shout out on the fan deal. That is put together so well. Just number them down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom.
Bart, are you sorting by top comments or newest first?
So first of all, I had Judd pinned, and then I believe it's just the most recent comments, I believe.
Okay, I'm trying to keep up. I cannot see your screen at all, so I got mine going at the same time. So I was just trying to keep up with you.
There you go. Well, I'll call them out, and you can actually just watch the comments and go with what I'm saying. Let's see. There's a lot of love for HAMTAG. All right, here's one. Phil Hatfield, 5 days ago. His list for the 80s. Number 5 is Britannia. Number 4 is Up Front. 3 is Empire in Arms. 2 is Cry Havoc by Standard Games. All the other games listed there were Avalon Hill. And MBT Main Battle Tank, also by Avalon Hill, and recently reprinted by GMT Games. Great list, Phil. All right, let's see. Now, there was Derek Leader here. He had a very long post, and I love these long posts. Don't hesitate from the long post. Obviously, I won't read it all. And he did a very good job of then his comments are there. Please go and read those comments. There's some awesome ones, but I'm going to go to his breakout list, and I won't go into all of his comments for each one. 5 is up front. 4 is A House Divided, War Between the States. 3 is RAF. He has both the original and the more recent Decision Games replacement. 2, Ace of Aces, which was something that you heard a lot of. And then number 1 was Enemy in Sight.
Yep. Yeah, House Divided. I wondered about that. My version was I think I put a comment on one of these. I have the Phalanx version, and I didn't know if they had changed the game a whole lot since the early 80s. So I was like, I'll just stay on the safe side and not go. But yeah, I was like, if it was the same as mine, probably would have been in there because it was a really good game. And it's really held up through the test of time.
Beautiful. Trevor just has his list on here as of today. So that means his list could be fluid. Number 5, Operation Pegasus.
Woo-hoo!
There you go. 4, A Gleam of Bayonets. I've not heard of that one.
Oh, that's a monster game. I believe it's Antietam. It's might be a Richard Berg. It's part of the Great Battles of the American Civil War.
Really?
It's a monster. If you're familiar with Terrible Swift Sword, that's on Gettysburg. I believe A Gleam of Bayonets is Antietam. I almost got it once, and then I looked at the playing time and all like, oh, that's a little too big for me.
Wow. Okay. Number 3 is First Team Vietnam. It's a magazine game. Yep.
I put that on my post World War II list. I'm pretty sure it is a sweet, sweet hidden gem of a magazine game. Solitaire.
Oh, very nice. Number 2 is Buck Rogers' Battle for the 25th Century, sci-fi romp. And number 1, Assault on Hoth. Loved it since I was young, says Trevor.
I don't know that, but I need to bug Aaron and see if he has it. He has about all things Star Wars.
All right. Let's see. And I thought I remembered a few more posted on here, and I'm getting down. I'm at the bottom here, so let me double check, make sure I didn't miss anything. We're going to pop back up
Forrest Cole. And
let me see. Let me try a filter from response status. I responded to everything. That's interesting. I actually thought there were a few more. Maybe I missed a page.
I'll read this one for you if you want.
Do it.
All 5 are victory games. Vietnam, NATO, Cold War, Korean War, and Civil War.
And are you on? There they go. I just got a refresh. Thank you. Now I'm getting a refresh. I wasn't getting the refresh probably because I'm sharing. We've got Brian Gaethje. I think I may be saying that wrong. He's limited his list to those he actually owned and played in the 80s, which is kind of what it's not kind of, it's what I did too. 5 is MBT. 4 is Second Fleet, part of those Victory Games Fleet series. I love those. 3 is Ambush. Love you, brother. Little brother love. 2 is Flat Top. And 1 is Squad Leader, Avalon Hill 4th edition. And he says that makes it the 80s.
Yep.
All right, let's see. Here, I wanted to do this one just because it's music. So Brian adds in his musical tastes were quite diverse in the 80s. He entered the decade as a solid classic rock fan. Don't forget, we did our opening to set the stage with our music we were listening to. Had a lot of Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, the Stones. Middle years were Van Halen. Oh, yeah, baby. Stevie Ray Vaughan and Jackson Browne. And finished the 80s with a heavy dose of the Grateful Dead and the Violent Femmes. Yeah, Grateful Dead's like came on super popular in the 80s. I can't remember their one song that was just phenomenal. Purple Norseman says, hello, Judd. Go Vikings. Just kidding. Love you guys. This video.
Yeah, that was hilarious. I thought he's from my hometown because my school was the Vikings. Then I was like, wait a minute. I think he's making a reference to my Bears shirt.
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. Let's see. Let's see what we got here. I'm slipping through. Slipping through, there we go, a lot of comments. And there's Forrest Cole. You already gave out his.
Yep.
All right, let's see. We've got ERMJ 1986, number one.
Yeah.
Yep, Thunder of the Crossroads. 2, Civil War Victory Games. That was Eric Lee Smith. 3 was Pax Britannica. 4 is Empires of the Middle Ages. And 5, the Korean War Victory Games. Honorable.
Yeah, I was hoping he'd jump on there. He's one of the biggest grogs I know. I mean, when I say grogs, he does big games. I think he has a geek list where he posts like his action reports. I mean, the thing goes on and on and on and on. And man, he does some seriously heavy games. He and Grog Bill's on the other one, the BGG one. I went and bugged him and said, "You need to put a list on here. I want to see what your stuff is."
And we talked about the Corsair, and you reference a video. Anybody that wants to know more stuff, I love that video. I need to go watch the full video, but you had the little segment highlighted on how the British pilots learned how to land the Corsair on a flat top.
Oh, yeah. And then once YouTube gets those recommendations, holy cow, they were recommending, because I was watching bomber stuff, B-20, like I told you, B-24, B-17, Then I went into modern stuff. I'm not modern, but 70s, F-14, F-15, F-16, F-18. And man, I just, each one of those things like 45 minutes to an hour.
Oh, yeah. I know. It's great, though. I love it.
Then I wrote my buddy, the aeronautical engineer that I work with, and I was telling him he didn't know about the Corsair and how hard they were to land on carriers. He's the one that told me about why they had the tall props and, just different things about like P-38, about how they'd go into dives and they'd start flirting with the sonic barrier, and then they'd start to push over backwards, and all kinds of cool detailed stuff he gave me.
I love the P-38, fork-tailed devils. All right, let's see. We had Godot here. Let's see, Rick Godot. 5 was Fighting Sail. See combat in the age of canvas and shot. 4, A House Divided. 3, RAF, 1986. 2, here's another guy I like a lot, B-17. Hello. That's what ushered me into this wargaming hobby. 1, The Civil War by Eric Lee Smith. Another mention of that. Honorable mentions he has is Britannia. Quiet Fields. They're Quiet Fields, Thunder at the Crossroads. Very nice. We're going to slide on through. We got some comments from you and I. Going to look for another easy list. We're hanging in here a while. There were a lot of great, again, these comments are fun to just go back and read. And some of the depth and detail that's in the comments.
The thing that shocked me is I thought everybody and their brother would have up front in that list. And they even be clowning me out, "Why didn't you have up front in your list?" I'm like, I like it. I just don't love it the way some people do.
I'm going to claim that it was a little hard to wrap your head around back in the day. To this day, I think it's a little hard.
I've heard that rule book's a monster, but see, Greg taught me, so
I think it's
Greg teaches you games are easy. He could probably make that Air War Tactical Combat game easy. That if you remember that old beast.
Yeah, I think the deal with up front, it was so ahead of its time, quite honestly, that it was the abstractness and the fog of war that you didn't know what was coming around until the card came in. And Greg points out that Combat Commander is like a mash of a hex and counter game with up front with the way Chad used those cards.
Yeah, that thing, when you talk about the chaos, Greg threw a river down in front of one of my big squads, and it took me forever to get out of that thing. And then I had this big attack mounted. I think I was the Soviets and Germans or something, and I was getting ready to finish them off and win the game or something, and had this awesome thing going on, and we flipped a card, and it was like a red 5 or red 6, and I just sat there dumbfounded. I said, "Does that really mean I just lost?" And he goes, "Well, yeah, it's red." I just couldn't believe it because it was so overwhelmingly in my favor.
No, we're going to read some more, and then I'll go into the BGG comments. But before we finish out, of course, we'll go back through some comments, and we'll talk about some games that are on our tables or about to hit our tables. So hang in for those. Let's see. We got Chalkboy 8, 5 terrible. His 5th is Terrible Swift Sword. 4 is Melee, which is
that's a Meta Gaming. Remember the 295 little pocket games?
Oh yeah, They did a remake.
Hotspot. Yeah, my friend Aaron, he adores. That's one of the few tins he's given out, like Squad Leader. I think Ambush, he'd like that. But yeah, he put Melee and Wizard down. He's always bugging me for why I don't play that. I was like, dude, you know how much that thing cost? You know.
Well, they did a remake because that is from oh my goodness, he just did Car Wars and come on.
Steve Jackson?
Yeah, Steve Jackson game. They did a Kickstarter remake on the whole whole fantasy trip deal, and you get Melee and Wizard in there. It's awesome. I did it.
Yeah, I wonder, did they throw in all the Solitaire expand stories and stuff? Because
there's so much stuff in there. You got books that just that's all. They even collated stuff from magazines all over the place. Anything they could get rights to. It was really, really nicely done.
Yeah, okay. I didn't realize he got when he was with them and he split off and formed his own company. I knew he got the rights to Ogre and GEV. I didn't realize he got Wizard and Melee also.
I think they just came back recently as part of the reading in there. And then he decided, hey, I wanted to go back and do this up right. Number 3 is Saint Nazaire. 2, Aces of Aces. 1 up front. Hello, we've heard them. Those, they're popular. They keep showing up. Let's see what we got here. Only 2 on Gregor's list. Let's see, Dragon Rage 1982. It's a fairly simple fantasy war game, great for getting kids into war games or for adults who think it's fun to attack walled city with 2 dragons. So you're actually playing the dragons. Interesting. I hadn't heard of that. And 1, A House Divided 1981. So
that's the one that keeps popping up the most, or from my unofficial tally, or maybe I'm just noticing it. But holy cow! I mean, have you ever played it before?
I think I played it with Bubs once. Bubs
played with me too. Yeah, it's got like 4 pages of rules, and it does a really good job of covering the Civil War at a high level. You can catch the big ideas. It's not going to do everything with 4 pages, but it did a really good job. I mean, I didn't even know the Civil War at the time, and it turned out the strategy I was doing was kind of started doing what they were doing. I'm like, wow. I went and hit the West first, then I took Atlanta, then finally we had a big duel at Richmond.
Yeah, perfect. All right, let me see. I'm hitting. There we go. Right. Hold on. I think I may have hit bottom again. Let me see. I think we're good. If there's something below that, let me pop out of here for a while. See what's going on in the comments. All right, we are back in. Let me get it to this version. Boom. 16 eyeballs, 42 minutes in. I love it. All right, let's see where we're at over here, and then I'll go over to the BGG. There were very few comments there, and you did a good job of, under your post in the War Games forum, telling people, hey, by all means comment here, but copy and post it to the YouTube comments. That was great, because that way we're making sure we're catching those fans that have great lists. Oh, Tom Knight, it's not a war game, but Trivia Pursuit was the game of the 80s. You know what? Everybody got that. My family got it. We were inviting families over to play it. I mean, it definitely caught fire.
Oh, remember how everybody and their brother copied it?
Yeah, I think they tried. And it was just, I think it was, you know what?
Nobody ever did it as well.
Well, I'm going to always stand by, it's the feeling of putting the little pieces of pie into your piece. And then how it makes this beautiful color montage. I think that was it. Otherwise, it was just this base trivia game that had the arts and entertainment was so vague. I'm sure, Greg again would beat the bus, but man, I'd get to that. I'm like, what the heck? What are you talking?
We play in teams. One night I took on the entire room, but it was always, boy, I hope when they get to literature, ask me a biblical question or something. That's usually the only way I can get out of stuff. But yeah, I was suffered on those, and I'd get so annoyed whenever I'd get to sports and I'd start licking my chops. They'd ask me about a drink. I'm like, really, alcohol?
Yes, I know.
Like, that ain't sports.
Yeah,
sure. I know it's leisure. It's leisure.
Sports and leisure, baby. Vorpal Bite says my game club had large dogfights using Air Force / Dauntless rules. Very cool.
Cool.
I always loved the little wheel they used, and I bought those. And I never really figured out how that was all used.
Avalon Hill made a trivia game I was going to tell you about. And my dad got it because, hey, Avalon Hill, we know them. Have you ever seen that thing?
Which one?
The Avalon Hill trivia game they put out during that phase? Oh, I loved it. I'd love to run those cards by Greg to see if he could answer them because, I mean, we all sat there and played. It's like, this game sucks. We can't answer a single one of them. And years later, I mean, maybe 10 years ago, I'm like, okay, I'm old and gray and I'm seasoned and I know things and blah, blah, blah. Let me pull these cards out and see how long it takes me to answer 5 of them. After a while, I said, let's see how long it takes me to answer 1 of them. And the closest I got to one was they asked, what was the mean radius of the moon to the earth?
Oh, my God.
And I'm like, I tutored physics for years. I know the mass of the earth. I know Coulomb's constants. I know all these bizarre things. That one was never one I ran across. And I was in this, I think I put the comments, said, look around you. How many NASA people are around you? Yeah, that's have fun with that,
There you go. So here's the so of course when we do this show live due to social distancing, it's not at the resolution I like, but there you go. My mouth's open and you look cool with your 82nd Airborne hat.
There you go.
All right. So we only got a few here. E. Butler. I don't even think he had a list. He just listed them out here. Star Trek Combat. Oh, this is the one where he's letting me know that FOSSA, and we had, of course, figured all that out. Star Trek or Starfleet battles was by task force games.
Yeah, when you get done, I'll show you something. I have some stuff here I was going to explain, but go ahead.
Oh, okay, please. Yeah, Mark Sockwell. This list won't take long. Not as many people post on BGG, which is just fine. Posting on YouTube is the preferred place. Sorry, Judd. Jim Brown, 6'2", 232 pounds, and a time that size was nearly the size of a lineman.
Yep. I got much respect for Jim Brown.
I know. These stats were great. 8 seasons.
I know Mark, by the way. I was back in Joplin, met him at the game store I go to back there.
Oh, cool. So he's got 8 seasons he played, leading rusher. Runner-up has 4. 5.2 career average per rush. Must be a true running back. And a 104.3 career rushing yards per game. No one else over 100. And the most remarkable number, 0 games missed during his career of 9 years, 118 games. Hard to believe considering the entire defense was always focused on him.
Peyton missed 1 game his first year, and I think he played 13 or 14. About 77, I think, or 76, 77 was rookie, and he ended in 88. But I would point out that if Walter Payton was in the Dirty Dozen, he wouldn't have got shot dropping the grenades down the chutes.
You're probably right. Says Judd, I'm impressed that your mom's favorite band was Motorhead. Wendell also says the Korean War, good call. Also he seconds the recommendation for the coldest winter.
That's the book by Halberstam.
And another great vid from DRG is Peyton. So there's more stuff here, football than games, but that's why I'm listing it because I always say I'll go read the comments here as well. Peyton was great, but agree on Jim Brown. A mom who listens to Lemmy. How did Judd end up so normal? He's not, folks. He's not.
I'll tell you what was hilarious when my sister got the No Sleep Till Hammersmith, which that's just a killer Motorhead album. Yes. And she was into Willie Nelson and country big. She lived in everything. Second. Dang it.
He says Flash.
Okay.
Flash. Okay. Ambush is his best game of the 80s. I had to get to that. DRG is a genius.
Okay. Sorry, that phone bugged me. My sister introduced mom to Motorhead, and she comes like, dude, mom likes Motorhead. It's like, what? And we thought maybe she was just playing along just to, what? No, my mom would sit there and borrow our Motorhead albums. But what was hilarious was she'd sit there and listen to it like she was at a classical concert because we'd start banging our heads and all. And she'd be like, no, I can't listen to it. And she'd point and go, here's the pretty part. I'm like, pretty Motorhead. But man, mom would she'd be in her truck just jamming the Motorhead. So anyways, yeah, it was pretty epic. And then she thought she was afraid that all my friends are trying to think that she's trying to act young. I said, Mom, my friends hate Motorhead. She goes, why? I said, because they're metal, dude.
All right, let's see. Michael Mellon had to leave. He's off to play Hunters with a buddy. That's cool. Always get that game in. Tom Knight, it is not a war game, but yeah, sorry, Trivia Pursuit. That was a great reference. Curiosus is in with Avalon Hill trivia questions were harder but less interesting than Trivia Pursuit. And he's with Judd. Literature was his weakest point. And he also thinks Barry Sanders was just behind Jim Brown at 101 yards.
Hey, Barry Sanders, our Wichita guy. We love him.
Yep. Vorpal says his list is number 1, Battletech 2, Squad Leader 3, Twilight 2000. Way to go, brother. You got to be stuck. You got to be modern 80s soldiers stuck in Poland. That's just you got to get home. 4, Enemy in Sight. 5, Naval War. All right. We'll keep those comments coming.
You want the ones off the War Game Forum?
If you've got where you're talking about where you posted on BGG?
Well, yeah, where I made the original post that points.
Here's what I want to do, because I want to encourage them to post under the BGG video so they're seen there, or to put them over on YouTube. I don't want to hit 3 of them because it'll actually disperse the comments. So just tell people, put them on there. You read 1 if you've got your favorite.
Come on, man. There's 3 really good ones.
I'm going to say 0, brother. 0. Go ahead and read.
Dude,
1.
I went out and recruited Grog Bill to post his.
You're good, man. But you even say in there, please copy them over to YouTube. Now, it's not just that first of all, I think I made $3 off of the video. So it's good. Keep posting there.
Well, I also realize there's people who won't make a YouTube account. You know, I don't trust YouTube either. I mean, YouTube, Google, and their whole spy network, but I do have a YouTube account, but I won't put them on my phone. So that's why I commented that, you know, I worry that there are people who just say, I won't post anything on YouTube because of that.
Well, yeah, because they're probably spying on your conversation about Motorhead.
Yeah. Now, I'll tell you, this is a trip. My kids are always making fun of me about, because, you know, I'm a boomer and I have DuckDuckGo and I won't use Google Chrome and all this stuff. Well, we were sitting there. I asked my youngest one, I said, you want to watch Terminator? And she said, sure. So we go down and we watch, you know, the old 1984. That was all we did. We didn't try to do any internet anything. When we got done, she pops open her Google, just whatever, and it starts recommending Terminator stuff. And she goes, how did it do it? I said, it's because you gave him permission to turn on your microphone and it's listening for keywords.
Oh, my God. Come on.
She starts screaming into her phone, stop spying on me. And I said, yeah, you see why I use DuckDuckGo now?
As soon as you search something out, that's what's going on.
Yeah. So, and it's done that on more than one occasion where it starts recommending stuff based on the conversation. So, yeah, that's why I have Firefox and DuckDuckGo as my stuff. So, endorsement there. I'm not making any money.
There you go.
So, anyways,
by all means, come in and watch. I love YouTube, but you guys can do whatever you want. But read your favorite. You only get to read 1, brother.
I can't do that because then.
All right.
I know all 3 of these guys.
Actually, if you can't pick your buddy, let's see. Somebody else says, John Connor says, I don't post on BGG because Matthew banned him forever. Wow. He got banned forever. You just got to stay happy. And if you don't post, that's fine. That's fine. We would like you to post on YouTube. I won't ban you. Let's see. Bo Jackson says Nathaniel Robinson was incredibly exciting to watch, whether he was stealing a base or striking out. That is true. He was so fast and powerful. Chris Taylor, if you like DuckDuckGo, check out the Brave browser. See, you're going to send Judd down that rabbit hole.
Well, you know, Snowden's always recommending the Tor project.
Here's what I'll tell you. So wherever you end up, that's actually the deep state, because they know how to send you to what they really want you to do. What you need to do is go off grid, go all analog, baby. You can do it. You just like your war games. Give up the smartphone.
Hey, it worked. You know, it worked for what's his name, Adama in battles. Remember, he wouldn't link his computers together.
Yeah, that's right. I think
the reason he survived the Cylon attack.
Yeah, we should live our life like the new Battlestar Galactica.
I don't know. We want to live all of our life like those guys. Woo, boy, they were messes.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying here. All right.
Okay, Bart, I wanted to clarify. So I don't think I did a great job explaining when you was asking about how the SFB thing worked. I got it right here and ready.
Do it.
They originally came out with the pocket game in like 76, 77, around there. Around 1980, they went to their boxed edition.
That's the one I've got.
My cover, this is the rule. My cover's gone. This is a well-loved game. 45 pages. Like, holy cow, I thought it was like 15 or so, but a lot of it's scenarios and stuff. That was the original rule book. Then the game took off. They start making expansions. They make supplements. And the problem you run into is you're trying to find a rule. And was that in the basic rule book? Was that in expansion 1? Was it in expansion 3? The layouts were various. It was impossible to find rules. So in 1983, they came out with the Commander's Edition. Oh, wow. I grabbed the wrong one. It said Volume 1. See, I've got 3 copies of Starfleet Battles. I was kind of a nerd that way back then. I don't do that anymore. But they made Volume 1, Volume 2, and Volume 3. They upgraded the ship displays, and then they put these rule books out. This is Volume 1, 2, and 3's rule book. There. 3-ring binders. And you'd pop the page, you'd rip the staples out, and then when they'd make corrections, they just send you could get the page and slide them right in there. And then they had a really nice index. But the thing about it was, hey, that rule book you don't have to memorize. I said I could teach you Starfleet Battles in like 30 minutes or less, the core of it. But every possible rule you could ever dream of, stasis field generators, like, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 different types of plasma torpedoes, all these different rules. So if you ever needed a reference one for the ship you were fighting, or you're using something that only Gorns can do, or Federation, you just go reference the rule. And that's why I was saying, I was guessing Squad Leader, they had 3 expansions that they ended up grouping them back together, and kind of, I don't know, I could be wrong, but that's kind of the impression I got from talking to Greg years ago, that they kind of did the same thing with Advanced Squad Leader. But when he was asking about those other games, SFB has every possibility. My joke was, if you want your captain to have brown eyes, there's probably a rule for that. Those other games took the same core system of engines provide power, shields, blah, 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 but they don't have labs, they don't have probes, all these different bizarre rules. You need shuttle bays, all this different stuff. It was stripped out of those other games, like the Tactical Combat Simulator. Alpha Dawn, I think it was named, Nighthawks. It was the TSR role-playing game. They had a ship system, combat system in there. Even newer games like Talon by GMT, they take a lot less components and work the same system. So that's kind of different. You get the same feel. It's tactical. You fire. You start to eliminate components off the enemy and ruin their ability to make war with you or combat. But it doesn't have all that excess detail. And even the Federation Commander, which is a stripped down, more on the spot, instead of planning everything at the start of the turn, I need a fire phase. Let me allocate a point and fire now. It gives you more of a feel for Kirk, and start. But it doesn't have that monster-sized rule book. So that's when you asked about what the difference was. I think that's kind of what it amounts to. The others, they all look for a system, but none of them went to the depths that Starfleet Battles did. Kind of like, hey, Band of Brothers does this much and ASL does this much, because you can, like Greg said, you want to know how to get guys out of a cellar. There's a rule for that.
There you go. That's beautiful.
Anyways, hope that kind of made sense. I tried to grab my rule book last week and it wasn't where I thought it was.
Got it. Very cool. So let's see. Let's bring this back to what we've been playing recently. This I was very surprised by. So with the pandemic going on, my wife Liz wanted to play Pandemic. And then we broke out the one from the Iberian Peninsula that dealt with the old Spanish flu, and that was fun. And she said, you know what, I like these limited versions. I go, well, they got one that's the fall of Rome, but instead of viruses, it's all the Huns and the Vandals, and it's all the tribes attacking Rome, and Rome trying to keep Rome from fall. She's like, you've got to get that. I'm like, awesome. So is it a war game? No, but it's this awesome themed deal where you definitely feel like you're just being chipped away all the time. And I keep going to clean it up, and my wife will say, leave that out. Let's play that again tomorrow when you get home. And it plays like most or all pandemic games in about 45 minutes. So if you've got someone who's not a war gamer, but you like the theme and you're dealing with that, try that. That's on the table. Van Overbay, he said he was going to send us. So Greg had listed Moonshot as on one of our, I think it was our space games. And he's since kind of retitled it. So it's this Tranquility Base. Same base game, is my understanding, with a few tweaks. It's not on the table yet. It looks great. And I shot a quick unboxing, even though this was kind of his player's copy. I wanted folks to see it out there. I shot a fast unboxing of it. And then, surprise, surprise, because I was told things weren't going to be shipping from Europe. But out of the blue came Austerlitz 1805 in one of the prettiest covers I've ever seen. And this is from the Trafalgar Editions, which is the Jose runs this company, I think right out of Spain. All the rules in here are both in Spanish and English. And he did the Waterloo 1815. It's got some other stuff in the title. Uses the same system where you're using almost like a miniatures rule system. And man, first of all, I've done an unboxing. I've got to get it edited. This box cover, just look at the fog and the tree and just the simple name. And I'm intrigued. And even my wife was like, wow, that's a pretty cover. So we'll see how that goes. Not my era, but boy, did I love the accessibility of the other game from Trafalgar Editions. Make sure I'm getting it right. I always just say Trafalgar. Yep, Trafalgar Editions. So what have you been playing, Judd?
I've still got Fading Glory on the tape. But remember, that's 4 games in 1. I played Salamanca, I think that's the name of it, over in Spain. It's the dude from Waterloo. Who's totally blank his name? The British general who won Waterloo.
Oh God. And I know exactly who it is. And now
they even got a war game. Wellington. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
That's Wellington and Marmoude, or I'm terrible at French. I think that's it was. He wasn't up against Napoleon. Anyways, I did that. I have now set up Smolensk from the Russia campaign. Cool. And it's fun. I don't know, man. I've seen it. I've been watching lots of documents because when I do this and I go start to study the background on it, because I know so little about Napoleonic stuff.
Yeah, same.
As Napoleon's starts pushing, he keeps trying to set up this grand battle that they won't give him. And then he's starting the Russian guys keep wanting to say Soviets because of World War II. They're getting pushed back to, okay, it's time to start fighting. So they try at Smolensk and then they fall back. And it was funny. I've seen it pronounced both ways on videos, Borodino, as we call it, and Borodino. Now that I realize it was in Russia, okay, and I can put the Russian. It is a lot closer to what Greg was saying. Because I know Russian. It's like, yeah, because they don't. Yeah. Anyways, but I saw it pronounced both ways, so we don't feel so hillbilly now. Because these are very proper guys giving their talk about it.
I just embraced the hillbilly, and my catchphrase, which I caught some flack from my co-host on the whiskey side, was. I strive for perfection, but gave up on it a long time ago.
Yeah, so I got Smolensk and Borodino going just boom, boom like tonight. And now the furlough, I have a week furlough at work, so now I'm ready. Now, I kept saying, okay, I'm ready to go with Tokyo Express, and I still am. I got the Time Life. You remember the old Time Life books, the World War II series?
Yeah, I got them. The blue covers.
I went through the island fighting one here about a month ago, and boy, that got me so into, because it starts at Guadalcanal. Got me in, okay, I want to play Tokyo Express. I want to play Tokyo. And it's funny, I'm so scatterbrained because now I've been playing this Napoleonic stuff. Like, I would really like to get Command and Colors Napoleonics and start pounding through these expansions. Wow. And then at the same time, while I was doing all my simulation work stuff, I'd run these documentaries on the side while I was doing work and stuff. I started doing Ken Burns' The War again, and now I really want to play France 1944 again, even though I have so much experience. Like, man, I just want to play it all, and I want to play it now. But I'm like, okay, this is really my chance for Tokyo Express. I've got 9 days off.
I need you to do Tokyo Express for me. That's how you need to arrange it, because I want you to show me. I have that, and I wanted to play it, but I haven't tackled it either. Real quick,
That's my. Oh, go ahead.
You go. I was going
to say that Napoleonics. The thing I can do about it's even when when I got a week of work or whatever. Hey, when it's all over, I can always set up Napoleonics and play it. You can crank those scenarios out one at a time. It's just I've been really itching to. Now that the iron's hot, I've been wanting to learn a lot more. And then also during this week, I'm probably going to finish up the Waterloo, the C3I Vassal module. I don't have the game, so I don't. I took it as far as I could at the graphics. So I said I need to copy. I talking to Mark last night. I was like, I really need to copy the PDF of the rules or something on this because I don't know what these detachments do. So
I like how you just dropped that. I was just talking to Mark last night.
Well,
look at that. Yeah. No, you're doing good. Now, some people reference here, first of all, I've had no extra time. I've had less time. I'm working even more hours, not less. They kept waiting for us to lose a quarter of our police staff, then a half. They kept saying the next 7 days, next 7 days, next 7 days. We've lost nobody. But it's been a little hectic at home because the wife and the kids are at home. And when I'm here, I can't get gameplay going. I will.
Yeah, we didn't have like more movie nights and stuff. So that's why I've had a simple game like Fading Glory on the table for a week.
I've still got Agents of Mayhem over there. And my wife even said, that looks interesting. I've been playing so many games with my wife and family. I can't complain, but it's slowed down my war game stuff.
And plus, I'm trying to binge watch 3 shows at once when I don't watch TV.
Yes, and Bosch just came on, and my wife and I love Bosch from Amazon Prime's series. So
is that a show?
It is. Yep.
Okay. You say Bosch, I'm thinking of Chris Bosch, the basketball player.
See, and it's based on a novel, series of books where the cop, the detective, it's a detective thing where he was a Vietnam Special Forces vet. Well, now he's some kind of like Afghanistan vet or something. I don't know, but Iraq vet. But he's an older cop that's well, it's pretty good. I won't ruin anything. Uwe Beck.
So you even had that. Okay, I was wondering about the COVID thing. I figured you probably were more in tune. I haven't heard anything, but Governor Kelly came out and said Kansas is dead last in the number of testing per population even. So they don't test unless you're like over 60 and show multiple signs.
Yeah, or we've had some first responders tested because we've come in contact with folks. So then they were getting tests because we were quarantining them for 72 hours, and then they were getting a test so they could get back into work. And they've all been clear. So not even on a political side, but I've been watching. So this story will play out over the next year because I've been watching what Sweden's doing. Basically, they're going for herd immunity. They've quarantined their elderly and their at-risk populations. They're not supposed to meet in groups of 50. They're supposed to social distance, wear masks, but they didn't shut down any economy. So maybe this is my board game side. This is not political for me at all. And I've seen some folks or the news kind of going that way, but I'm more curious to see how does Sweden's deal handle China's numbers? I had a guy get mad at me because early on I'm like, I don't trust China's numbers. And they're like, what? They're backed up by the WHO. I go, I don't think China's telling the truth to anybody.
Yeah.
Maybe that's my Red Dawn scenario.
I'm with you, man.
Yeah, I was just like, I don't.
You notice they kicked out all the Western journalists at the time that they were supposed.
Yeah, there was so
talk of all the what do they call those? Where they incinerate the bodies? How sending all the urns to Wuhan and
and I don't get into conspiracy. I'm just saying there's a few things going on here that I'm thrilled about, and that is the way the DNA of the virus was shared. And so I like to deal with what I actually know. It's kind of a cop thing. I don't worry about what I don't know, just what I know. The way that was shared, the way governments around the world and everything from government agencies to private businesses started to attack and figure out what they can do and how they can fight it. And I honestly believe that 10 years from now, this is going to spur so much medical evolution that I think we'll be I don't know. We're moving so exponentially fast that I think we'll be able to handle these things.
Yeah, I was watching a videos, but doctor buddy of mine I went to school with, he had recommended, it was a real good discussion, but something the guy pointed out is when you see the curves, the steep curve and the flat curve, it's a calculus thing.
Right.
The area under both curves are the same. More or less what one of the Rogan podcasts I'd watched with one of the experts when this first broke, he said something like, yeah, probably 86% of the planet's going to get this.
Right.
You don't want to get it all at once. And, you've seen I was watching basically when each state's supposed to hit their peak, and Kansas is like Friday. And I tend to go with you that I think it's going to be open back up a lot sooner than later. Heck, we might end up having a softball season just a month late because it's like we're less than 50 anyways when we have softball games.
And that's, again, where I love your shirt and our state system, because let the local governments, both city and state, decide what works for their state. And they can do it based on, Wyoming's got almost nothing going on because they're always socially distancing. Hello. Yeah. So I love that aspect of it. Let the states do their own thing. But that's
a great thing.
Yeah, that's where I love that deal. And then we even had both some citizens that I met, but even some officers. They were watching too much news, and they don't realize that if it bleeds, it leads. If it scares, it leads. And they were getting kind of like worked up. And I'm like, even for the officers, I was like, guys, every day you go to work, you got about the same odds of being in a shootout as you do from dying from COVID, and you're able to do the job under that. Why can't, we got to get you work through this. You're watching too much news. And I would tell them, turn off the news. You're binging on the news, and you're starting to see this as, it's something to be aware of and take serious, but you can't destroy your life 100% by what might happen.
Yeah. The total deaths are actually down from a year ago, but part of that, they said, when you're not driving's pretty dangerous. Just people just accept it. But now New York's really bad. The stuff coming out of there, but I'm only giving it in the Kansas context that, I don't even know anybody that's got COVID. I think 2 people from my work, and we're like next to the airline, next to the air, Boeing or not Boeing, Spirit and Cessna, those guys, we're the biggest employer in town. And we've had 2 cases, and they were people who've been gone for a while. One of the guys I worked with back in January, he's from China, and he had actually been to the province where Wuhan's at. So when he came back there, his government had like a 3-week quarantine. Then my boss told him, work from home a couple more weeks. And that was back when this first came out. And I was like, 5 weeks, but he didn't get it. But I'm just like, man, I don't even know anybody who's got it. But that's Kansas, we're pretty small.
Yeah, and the asymptomatic folks. And I'm curious to see, this is one where, you stay safe, take care of yourself. Don't let it's like almost anything, don't fear the fear more than the actual event, because that's the problem. Let me do some of these read-ins. Uwe Beck, Plague Inc. Speaking of the tie-in there's a zip right in. Plague Inc., the board game, Pandemic. Guilty pleasure these days as well for him. Let's see. Solo mode is tough nut to crack, he finds, says Uwe. Let's see. Trevor Just, that Austerlitz cover reminds me of Fire in the Sky. Yeah, I thought it kind of had that same kind of understated beauty to it that Fire in the Sky cover had. I was really impressed by it. Everything just jumped on me.
I like that guy's conspiracy comment. That's just funny.
Go ahead and read it.
It's a plan for the Illuminati to crash the global economy and to enslave us under our lizard masters, which makes me want to play a game of Illuminati now. I told you I'm scatterbrained. I'm all over the place.
That made me think of the TV series V in the 80s.
V, oh yeah, man, that freaked me out. Pull that mask off.
Oh, I loved it. And they're eating the rat or the mouse, and you're like, "What the heck's going on?"
That baby with the lizard tongue.
Yeah. Yeah.
The other one crawls out and looks like the lizard from Spider-Man or something. Like, man, that's freaky.
Yeah. So Dave says Sweden is going for herd immunity strategy. Yes. And that's why I'm telling you, it's interesting to see how different countries do it, how different states, how this will work out. So take care of yourself, but actually watch the news in the long term. Trevor says Sweden, new first world power next year, maybe 2. David,
hey, you know something from the 80s we forgot?
What?
It was epic on TV. You don't see them anymore. The miniseries Roots.
Sure.
Oh, they had the Winds of War. Oh shoot, they had a bunch of those. They had the America one with Chris Christopherson, where the Soviets had taken over America.
Yeah, that was good.
The Thornbirds, all that stuff. Like, man, those things. I mean, man, Roots. Everybody watched that back in when that came out.
Destination TV. David K here says, as gamers, can we achieve?
Oh yeah, Roots was 79. My bad. Sorry about that. I saw that comment.
All right. David says, as gamers, can we achieve, quote, nerd immunity? I love that. I got to tell you now, watching, I learned how to do the fist bump greeting when I was at BGG Con because they didn't want to spread the gamer crud.
Yeah, Aldi's been doing that for years.
Oh, yeah, Aldi's had that figured out for years, and now everybody's doing that or the elbow bump. And I'm like, finally, because I went to a few events and was doing the fist bump, but I was in uniform, and people are looking at me like I was nuts. And I was like, okay, that's a little nerdy. I'll shake your hand. So
yeah, for years, even at church, we'll be there in the summer and they'll be, shaking hands and stuff. And I just tell people, I lie in church. I'll be like, I'm feeling a little weather. I'm about to do an air shake. Oh, well, thank you for looking out for me. Yeah, no problem. I'm thinking, I just don't want to touch you, dude.
Oh.
I do, I carry the hand sanitizer everywhere. They're passing the offering plate, sanitize,
Oh yeah, this pandemic's right up your alley.
Yeah.
Let's see. Where am I? Let's see. Where am I? You ain't allowed. Where I am, you ain't allowed to exercise outside, says Dave Doogie.
Wow.
Yeah, that's too bad. I heard somebody in Michigan, you weren't supposed to walk your dog outside.
Dude, Michigan's so nuts. They won't let, if you own a house somewhere else in the state, they won't let you travel to your other house. But if you're from out of state, you can. I'm like, cuckoo. Yeah.
Okay.
Like, yeah, I go out and walk. I just stay away from folks. Kids playing basketball in the driveway. I just shift to the other side. But yeah,
you got to get your exercise. That'll keep you more fit to fight off anything. Let's see. Hilltown Gramers. Hi, all. Just remembered this. We'll need to rewatch later. Hey, we'll love you coming in. We've actually had numbers still creeping up, even though we're just rambling. Trevor Just, LL baseball season, please. Trevor still.
Just remember, this is what you're missing out on because this is the world champions this year. I have foreseen it, and it is going to plan.
All the introverts are allowed to return to normal. Yeah, that is funny. My mom, who's 77, she's having a real hard time with staying in. And before, I actually went and grabbed some stuff and dropped it off for him. And I thought she was sleeping in. And my stepdad said, no, she went to Hobby Lobby. And I almost cursed because I'm like, that's the trinket death store for old people. What is she doing? And I had to delete a text. I sent her a text, but as if she was a teenager and I was the parent. And I knew enough to read it before I sent it. So I deleted it. And then I resent her a text that said, yikes, Mom, Hobby Lobby during the pandemic. And then she called and said, well, I'm not the only one here. And I'm like, there's a good reason for that. I go, they can't clean all those old knickknacks. What are you doing? And then I called the siblings and told them they all had to gently and nicely give her a hard time about going to Hobby Lobby during the worldwide COVID-19 pandemic. And then they shut Hobby Lobby down because our city realized that's not an essential business. She did need more.
Hobby Lobby shut down nationwide.
Well, maybe that was when they weren't at the time. And she said she needed more knitting material because that's what she was doing, which was great. But don't go to, I said, Mom,
Amazon.
I said, I'm going to the grocery store for you. I'll go into the Hobby Lobby and get you your yarn material. And I bet I don't touch all the cookie jars because they're cute. So,
I like that guy's comment. Golf should be exempt. Dude, the way I golf, which I haven't golfed for a while, I don't ride carts. I carry the bag. And the way I play, you got nothing to worry about social distancing. I'm slice.
Yes.
But yeah, if you put some hand sanitizer by the flag and don't ride carts, golf would be fine.
Dave talks about electrical appliances cut out. We lost our refrigerator.
Ooh.
Yeah, I had a backup
That'd
in
be a
the
death blow.
garage. Yeah, we just loaded it in the new one yesterday, and I actually brought neighbors over because I couldn't get a crew to come out and set it up. That was a comedy of errors. Hello.
Yeah, we had a power outage in Northeast Wichita a couple of weeks ago, and it was like an hour and a half. But yeah, we had my wife went and put masking tape all over the door, so when the kids woke up around noon, do not open. They're loving this, man. My youngest is living her best life ever. She's like, get to sleep until noon. They're staying up till, I kid them, every time they wake up in the morning, I'd start singing Night Ranger 4 in the morning. There's an old 80s song for you. But they're, my youngest, she's loving this. She's like, no school. You know, she does her homework in one day and for the whole week. Sure. You know, stays up late, plays on her phone, watches YouTube, all that stuff.
Perfect.
Gets spied on by YouTube.
Right. David K had a duck and cover reference that was nice about how you survived the EMP during the nuclear war. There was a UK equivalent named Threads where the nuclear bomb dropped and a toy ET burnt. I don't know what that is. Lesson learned, play higher skilled labor. Yes. Higher skilled labor. I agree. I would have, but we needed it. And that I told my neighbors that's the last time I will do that because it was hard bringing that thing. And I had a little hand truck thing that cinched it in. It was hard.
Yep.
So, always higher skilled labor. Oh, I should have. The one place didn't even answer because the place I bought it from said, you got to call these guys. They didn't answer. Then they gave me another number. They answered and said, we can be there Tuesday. I'm like, I've been without a fridge for a week and a half. And then I made the fateful decision to do it myself. That was stupid. And I didn't get any games played yesterday because I was stupid and I had to bring neighbors over. I went to shake their hands and they were like, I was like, my fault. You guys are manly men for helping me here, though. All right, we're about to wrap up, Judd. We're at 1 hour, 22 minutes, 35 eyeballs still looking at us. We've had people dropping in, coming out. What else do you want to add in before we let the 80s go bye-bye?
Boom! I mentioned that I only have like 5 records. I gave them all to a place in Wichita because, hey, I got music on subscription. But I held on to my first one.
Def Leppard, baby.
Yeah, and
love Def Leppard.
Motorhead with the leather album cover.
Woo.
Awesome. And a band I forgot to mention. Striper. I was really into kids are like, yeah, I don't want that poster or that shirt. Thank you very much. But yeah, if I had this shirt, they'd be all like, yeah, that's pretty cool. But yeah, like all my old Journey albums and all that stuff. Nah, I don't got any of that stuff anymore. Iron Maiden, I got it on music subscription.
Beautiful. Perfect way to take us out. And Def Leppard hysteria to this day.
Did we get any ideas for our next show?
You know, we haven't. We had some from our last one. I still love doing these decades, man. What was the one decade we did do when Greg was with us?
The tens.
The tens. Okay, you know what? How about we throw out? I would love to do the same thing with the 70s. What do you think? Is that good, bad? Do you want to do the 90s?
70s or 90s? I don't either. Both are good decades to cover. Yeah, 70s is easy.
I would love to do the 70s. You know what did it for me, though, is some of the nostalgia we brought up with both the music and the movies. I like how we set the stage, and I can continue to work through some of these decades. We have plenty of other things on the list that you and I share, though. And
I remember there's an asymmetrical one. That'd be cool. Although I can't do Washington's War. Obviously, would be my number one.
Sure. Let's do 70s. John Connor says 70s would be good, and we're going to stick with John Connor on this one because he's John Connor. He's going to lead all of the humanity against the machines.
That's right.
So he's probably got duck, duck, go. All right. 70s will be what we do live next Saturday.
70s. There's a comment about board games are rare. Actually, they're pretty darn easy to find because they were so mass produced. It's like, man, what was it? Panzer Blitz sold over 100,000 copies.
Yeah.
And now, we're struggling to get 500 for a pre-order.
Yep. 100%.
Lose Dochi games. I only have one, the Starfleet Battleman. That's a phenomenal game. I've seen these comments pop up. So.
Oh, me too. Yeah, call them out. So we're gonna do the 70s. That's what we'll do. We'll do the we'll begin next week again, Saturday at 10. We'll open up with setting the stage just with music. And then we do the fans deal. We'll do the 70s TV shows. I already know one right off the top of my head. There's a couple. Oh, this is going to be fun.
Obviously, I got one, Roots. I forgot it was the 70s.
Well, Roots is in there. You bet. I love the fact that there's more. I mean, the games are the focus. That's what we're doing. But I love kind of that whole, it put me back in the 80s and I enjoyed it. I will tell you.
It's funny, the music's a lot more retro because I didn't get my stereo until 81, but I know music. My folks had some music, obviously not heavy metal, but yeah, so and the the TV shows are fabulous, but I didn't, like I told you, I thought Barney Miller was terrible. When you're a kid, you don't get it. But
man, I watched it in the 80s when it was in syndication, and I totally got it, man. But
yeah, something I'd like to see now.
I remember in the 80s, I was watching Beretta. Remember Beretta with he had the little bird, and he was yeah. I mean, it was all that stuff. So all right,
we'll leave Dutch, man. Red tomato.
Man, all right, we'll leave it. The 70s is going to be fun. Our focus will be games, but we will also talk music, movies, and shows. All right, HAMTAG at its best. We are out of here. Say bye, Judd.
Bye.
Bye, Judd. And we're